This is TWiT.
New York State is kicking out internet and cable provider Spectrum. It used to be called Charter. The state, when Charter merged with Spectrum, which I think was Time Warner Cable, in 2016, the state said, "Okay, we'll let you do this, but you have to roll out high-speed internet across rural areas." Which, of course, this is the big problem with internet, is that the internet service providers, not being fools, wire up the cities where the population density is high and the chance to make money is great, but are much less interested in rural areas where there might be one person in every square mile. And that means, you know, you're going to have to wire up somebody miles from the office and try somehow to recoup that loss. So they don't like to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't do it, frankly. And I thought this was a reasonable request. The state of New York said to Spectrum, all right, well, you can do the merger. We understand it's going to cost you money to wire up these people, but they need it. It's very important that everybody have the internet, right? I think we'd agree on that. And you're going to make so much money on New York City alone that this should be worth it for you. Fair enough? The company said, sure, fair. Then didn't do anything. This happens, by the way, all the time. Cable companies, in order to get into a city, they have to get the approval of the locality. Sometimes the city, usually the city, sometimes the county, maybe the state, to go in there because they have a monopoly. You notice there's only one cable company in your area? That's in almost every place, and that's because it's a regional monopoly that's allowed. The FCC said, okay, but you know the local government has to approve it. You have to, you know, bargain for it. It's for a certain term, and in the bargaining, these companies offer a lot of stuff. Here in our little Northern California area, Comcast is dominant in Northern California. Comcast promised to do all sorts of things, wire up the schools and all public internet, all sorts of things. None of that happened. But imagine yourself a member of the city council saying, all right, Comcast hasn't lived up to their promises. We're going to kick them out. We'll find somebody else. A, you better find somebody else. B, the voters are not going to be happy when their internet stops working and their cable TV, maybe more important, when their cable TV stops working. So it's really unusual for any locality to say, look, you're not living up to your promises. You got to get out of here. You didn't live up to, I mean, they have the contractual right to do so, but that's politically difficult. So it's really interesting, the state. And not only is the state kicking Spectrum out, they're saying, you have to keep operating for the next 2 months while we find somebody else. And you have to pay us $3 million in penalties. This was all contractually specified 2 years ago during the merger. The company says, well, wait a minute. Hold on now. Quote, we've extended the reach of our advanced broadband network. They always got to get a little plug in. You know, we got the best. We got the advanced broadband network to more than 86,000 New York homes and businesses. Yeah, but the contract said you had expanded to an additional 145,000. New York State Public Service Commission Chairman John Rhodes said Charter's noncompliance and brazenly disrespectful behavior toward New York State and its customers necessitates the action taken today, seeking court-ordered penalties for its failures and revoking the Charter merger approval. Wow. New York there's only a few states big enough to do this. New York's a big one, right? That's a lot of customers because of the city. I'm sure Charter will drag its feet, appeal, be upset. I'm sure they'll fight this like crazy. And if you're in New York State, I wonder what, you know, there's probably a little trepidation. Oh my gosh, are we going to lose our cable TV and internet? What's going to happen? Because, you know, that seems like 2 months for a state government to find a replacement. Good luck. On the other hand, it's such a lucrative market. Maybe the other guy, maybe Comcast will say, oh, well, we'll do that. We'll do that. We can do that. And yeah, we'll wire all those rural people. We'll do that over the next 5 years. 5 years later, then they haven't. Then we'll see what happens. But I like seeing a little spunk, a little spine from the state government. Saying, hey, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. It happens so rarely. Well done. Now let's see what the upshot is. Will it actually happen? That's the question mark.